Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This is CA Akshay Nagpal, and in today's session, we are going to discuss about various types of directors and their salient features that are covered under section number 161 of the Companies Act 2013. Before we begin, I would like you to subscribe this channel because I'm coming up with the similar videos every week. All right. Now let's begin this lecture. As you can see that this is a comparative coverage of section number 161 of the Companies Act 2013. Section number 161 contains four directors. First being the additional director, second being the alternate director, third being the nominee director, and fourth being the filling of casual vacancy, or you can simply say casual director. All right, let me give you an overview of all these four types of directors, and then we will head to this chart in which you can simply read and compare all the four types of directors in a single page. All right. So additional director is covered in section number 161 subsection 1, and the additional director is appointed basically because of two main reasons. First reason can be if every director becomes interested director, or most of the directors in a board of director becomes an interested party to the resolution, then an additional director can be appointed in order to make a decision, you can say. All right. And second reason can be to fulfill the quorum, basically, since as per section number 174, 175, there should be a quorum of directors that is required to be there, and additional director can be appointed for that very reason. All right. Second being the alternate director, which is covered in section number 161 subsection 2. It basically talks about a director who is appointed in place of a director who is not in India for not less than 3 months. That is, अगर एक डायरेक्टर 3 महीने के लिए बाहर गया है, आउट ऑफ इंडिया गया है, then in place of that director, a company can appoint an alternate director who will function in place of that very director. All right. Third director being the nominee director. Nominee director नाम इसलिए रखा because it is a nominee of a third party. Third party here can be a bank, a financial institution, or even the government. Simply, if a company takes a loan from the third party, that is bank or financial institution, or even the government, then that third party can employ a director to oversee all the functions that are being carried out by the company, and to see whether the terms in which the loan has been provided by that third party is being complied with by the company. So that is what we call a nominee director. All right, the person that is employed as a nominee of the third party in the company is called a nominee director. Fourth being the casual director, or you can say filling up of casual vacancy, a director who fills up the casual vacancy. Casual vacancy here means any vacancy that is happening because of the reasons other than that of retirement. All right, so casual vacancy happens because of the reasons other than that of retirement. All right, and the casual vacancy is filled by the board of directors, and the subsequent approval is required in this case in next general meeting. Immediately next general meeting we will study about that as well. So now I have given you an overview of all these four types of directors. So now let's begin with this chart, and you will be able to study it more comprehensively now. So as you can see on your screen, I have bifurcated this chart on four bases. First three bases are common for all these directors. So let's study first three bases, and then we will head to the fourth point, which is other important points. Now let's discuss about power to appoint is given by. So in case of additional director, nominee director, and casual director, articles of association should contain a provision that gives the power to the board of directors to appoint additional director, nominee director, and casual director. As you can see in this case, article of association is required, articles of association is required, and articles of association is required to contain a clause in which it gives the power to the board of directors to appoint additional director, nominee director, and casual director. In case of alternate director, there is one more thing apart from articles of association. So AOA is there as well, but there can also be a thing that by passing a resolution in general meeting, members can also provide the power to the board of directors to appoint alternate directors. All right, I hope I made myself clear. Next point being who cannot be the director. So in case of additional director, if a director is failed to be appointed in the general meeting, then that director cannot be appointed as additional director. It is very much common sense, since if a director is not appointed or is failed to be appointed in a general meeting, and then board of directors then the board of directors cannot surpass that resolution and appoint that only person as an additional director. So that would be a malpractice which is rectified by this provision. All right, a person who fails to be appointed in general meeting cannot be an additional director. This is a very good remedy which is being placed in this provision. All right, and in case of alternate director, he should not be a director of that company. Simply saying that if there is a director in the company, or additional director for that matter, or any kind of director, that director cannot be the alternate director for the person who has left India for more than or equal to 3 months. That is for not less than 3 months. Simply speaking, alternate director should be a fresh director. All right. सो इजी लैंग्वेज में बेसिकली आप बोल सकते हो कि एक नया फ्रेश डायरेक्टर आना चाहिए इन द प्लेस ऑफ दैट डायरेक्टर हु इज आउटसाइड इंडिया. All right, in nominee director there is no such thing covered, and in casual director there is no such thing. So the next point here is about term of office, and there are basically 3 points for additional director, alternate director, and casual director respectively. For nominee director, it will have to the director will have to stay there up till the loan is there or as per the third party directions. And for the other 3 points, I have made a particular chart. You can refer that as well. Wait a second. So yeah, I hope it's visible. So for additional director, the term of office would be up to the AGM date. AGM here means the actual AGM, that is the date on which actual AGM was held, or the AGM that was ought to be held, whichever is earlier. So let's take an example here. For example, the actual AGM was held on 15th of August 2021, and 180 days from the end of financial year, that is the date on which AGM ought to be held. That is the deadline for the AGM to be held is 180 days from the end of financial year, which will be 30th of September. So the additional director term would be 15th August or 30th September, whichever is earlier. That is 15th of August would be the last date for the additional director. In the contrary, if the date would have been 1st of December, then the answer would be changed to 30th of September. I hope I made myself clear in this case. The next point is about alternate director term. The term would be similar to that of original director. That is, the term will not be longer than permissible to the original director. If the original director, in place of whom the alternate director was appointed, was supposed to be retired on 30th of October 2022, then the alternate director term will have to be up to 30th of October 2022. But there is one catch, that is the vacancy can happen if the original director returns back to India. All right. So there are 2 points. First point being the term of office of the alternate director, which is similar to the original director. And second point being the vacancy, which shall happen if the original director returns back to India. Nominee director, as I've already mentioned, that this is upon third party. All right. Now let's come to the point of casual director, which is important for this time. and it says that the term of office will be up to the date to which the actual director place would not have been vacated. For example, there is a resignation that is happened in the company, and the resignation was happened in the mid of the year, and in place of whom a casual director was appointed. All right, so the casual director term would be same as that of the original director in whose place the casual director is appointed. For example, the original date is 30th of October 2022 for this case as well. Let's assume that the actual director would have been vacated on 30th of October 2022. Then the casual director term will be same as that of the original director, that is 30th of October 2022. I hope I made myself clear. Now let's head to next point, which is the other important points. You can read this. All right, you can read this point. Now the other important points which are here for additional director, alternate director, nominee director, and casual vacancy. So let's discuss this. Additional director is not a retiring director. Hence, if a company wants to appoint him as a regular director, then provision of section number 160 needs to be followed. It simply says that the additional director is not going to be a retiring director. And as per section number 152, the appointment that happens in the general meeting are the retiring directors. All right. And if the company wants to appoint a regular director, then they will have to follow section number 160, in which case a notice shall have to be served to the company and the ordinary resolution needs to be passed. All right. So as per section number 152, it says that retiring directors are those that are appointed in a general meeting. And in this section number 161, the additional directors are appointed by board of directors. That means these are not the retiring director. You can simply say the combined reading of section number 152 and section number 161 infers this point, that additional director is not a retiring director. And it concludes that if a company wants to appoint him as a regular director, then the provision of section number 160 needs to be followed. All right. And the second point, which is about alternate director, it says that alternate director is appointed in place of a person who is absent for a period of not less than 3 months from India. I have already mentioned that. And it also says that if an independent director is gone for 3 months out of India, then the person who is qualified to be an independent director needs to be the alternate director. So alternate director needs to possess all the qualifications that are required to be held by an independent director to be qualified as an alternate director. And for calculating the limit of section number 165 in the number of directorship, basically, in which there are 20 companies limit is there, then alternate directorship shall also be counted. This is a clarification which is given by section number 161 and also in section number 165. All right, now coming about the nominee director, it basically represents the body which makes his nomination for appointment as a director in the company, that I've already told you in the overview of the directors. And you can simply use the timestamp to listen that. All right. So, and about casual vacancy, it is created because of reasons other than retirement and for the directors who are appointed in the general meeting. All right, it simply says that if additional director or alternate director or nominee director are vacated, then 161 subsection 4 cannot be employed, cannot be triggered. Reason being, these sections, this section 161 subsection 4 is applicable only for the directors who are appointed in the general meeting, and in section number 161 these all directors are appointed by the board of directors. All right, this was the catch, and I hope I made myself clear. this is the end of the class. So I would like to wish you all the best. And today is 26th of June, or the exams are near. So all the very best, guys. Wish you the success in the upcoming examination. Thank you.